I did a 1 minute on and a 1 minute off interval training with the Technogym treadmill, which is called Excite. So now we can take a look at the exercise history, or rather the activities themselves, which I was able to record using basically my RFID login on the treadmill. So first of all, let's take a look at the first of these 3 workouts, or rather activities. So we take a look at speed. I do have 2 variables. The first one is speed, the second one is grade. I figured a couple of months ago that it drains basically my legs too much, or puts too much stress on my lower body if I run at such high speeds. So I used to run on a Precor treadmill on the highest possible speed, which was in this case 19.3 kilometers per hour. Now this Technogym treadmill would actually go up to 25 kilometers per hour, so a couple of kilometers per hour more. But what I figured is the following. If now this treadmill compared to the other one, so the other one had a 15-degree incline max, and this one now has 18 degrees incline max. So at 18 degrees, I'm not running that fast. And what I then can do is I can basically go down with the speed, which allows me to repeat this workout again and again and again without the necessity for me to recover then 2 days from this workout, or to not have any injuries at all going into this. Now, in terms of the heart rate, the goal is to get the heart rate up and then to pause basically in between and to have these distinct intervals, which are not this distinct here because I forgot to log the first interval. I'm also here using the Technogym app, and I have been quite surprised how well it is made. One feature though is missing. If I can click on share, I would love to basically import this into Garmin Connect and have treadmill speed data in Garmin Connect, even though I then would have duplicate workouts. So what this also here gives me is not only the distance I ran in this part of the workout. So I basically have 3 stations. The first one is treadmill, which is the hardest. Then I switch onto a rowing machine. Then I switch onto an Assault Bike Pro X. And then I repeat the whole thing again. And then I do another maybe 2 or 4 minutes. I think it's 2 intervals, aka basically 1 minute on, 1 minute on, 1 minute on, 1 minute off. Again at the treadmill to have a total of 40 minutes workout duration. What's also nice here is that I have the elevation in here, which I now could use to enter into Garmin. I don't know if it would be included in the hill score, for example. If I basically enter this manually, there might be fraudulent data from users who would like to manipulate something like this, but there would also be just a higher, basically a risk of error. Let's take a look at the speed. We already know that the grade is now set constantly in this case to 18 degrees. So we can see that on the right, basically we have the grade, and on the left we have the speed. So the grade is set constantly to 18 degrees, which I could also lower, but I then have to lower basically or increase 2 variables. So if I in the beginning set the grade to 18, then I begin at a certain speed, and because I am basically depleting my body with every interval, I have to go down with the speed. So what I started out here is I think around 10 or 11, and this is just the ramping up of the treadmill. Then in the middle, I sometimes also turn the treadmill off. It seems to be the case that if I have it off, so basically if I restart it at maybe 15 seconds, then it ramps up to the speed which I need, in this case only 10 or 12 or 9 kilometers per hour. And then here we can see that in the last interval, this might also just be the last interval, I basically had to reduce the speed because I almost was not able to run at 6 kilometers per hour any longer.